in Mexico as well as in Canada. What have you learned about trade policy from that moment to this one, and how has that learning impacted your advice to Ambassador Froman and to President Obama?
So thank you, Lionel, and thanks to the World Affairs Council for hosting, and thanks to all of you for coming out to listen. So it's a good question, and a lot has evolved over that period of 20 years since we were negotiating on the Uruguay round, which created the World Trade Organization, and the NAFTA. And so one of the things is that trade policy has to be a living instrument and reflect the changing nature of the global economic integration that is occurring, which is truly global now, and was becoming more and more global in the early 1990s when those other agreements were being negotiated. And so the process of developing negotiating proposals, which the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative, where I work, does very much in conjunction with Congress and stakeholders, whether non-governmental organizations or businesses or labor or others who participate in a more informal way, as we're doing this evening. The process of putting all of that together is a process that has to entail careful listening by negotiators and an ability to understand how realities are changing, and therefore rules need to change and adapt. And maybe we'll have a chance to talk about some of the ways that the TPP is reflecting that. The Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiations reflect that at this point. And also finding a way to integrate that successfully so that an agreement can be concluded, in this case with 11 other countries, and begin to take effect.
Well, on that note, why don't you bring us up to date on sort of where we are? I know that in the last 3 or 4 weeks, those of us on the West Coast now, I can say that with great pleasure, have been watching with some dismay and a little bit of surprise of the discord that there seemed to be around the granting of trade promotion authority, which was required. The president, articulated the need to have that authority to be able to bring these negotiations to conclusion. But now that that's been secured, where are the negotiations now, and what might we expect in the next month or two?
So, as Lionel said, late last month, the president signed into law the Trade Promotion Authority